May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be free from harm. May all beings love life. May all beings awaken. Welcome to another Cuke Audio mini podcast. I pray that you and yours are safe and comfortable, free from economic hardship, and able to get out and do whatever it is you want within the limitations of the universal precept of do as little harm as possible. Today we're going to read another brief memory from the Haiku Zendo Chronicles, Memories of Shunryu Suzuki Roshi. And you know, the Haiku Zendo is where Shunryu Suzuki gave the Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind lectures. So here we go. This one's from June French. A couple of decades of reading about Zen didn't prepare me for the actual experience of practicing Zen. It was a wonderful feeling, and not a little frightening at first. I was rather awestruck practicing with a real Roshi. I soon realized that we all have problems with aching legs and busy minds. The chanting and bowing seemed very alien to me for quite a while. Then they too became another kind of practice. I found that Suzuki Roshi and Katagiri Sensei, now Roshi, were not awesome, but very real people. We had such delightful breakfast conversations around Marion's big dining room table. I remember Suzuki Roshi once saying that the Los Altos Zendo had a very true practice. Thursday mornings soon became a strong focal point in my life. They still are. I somehow feel that Suzuki Roshi is still there practicing with us. Well, thank you, June French. That's a very sweet memory of that unique time. You know, it was like that at Sokoji too, when he first came for the first few years, much more intimate and small. And, you know, the people that participated in that sort of social life around practicing Zen, they really missed it when it disappeared, when Zen Center got bigger. Some of them resented it. I have no sympathy with them personally. I mean, okay, a little sympathy, but what did they think he wanted to do? He wanted to have students and teach Zen. I mean, he missed it too, but you know, that was inevitable if he was going to be successful doing what he was doing. Of course, he didn't think about being successful. He just did it. And it worked rather well. You know, it depends on how you look at it. I've, spent a lot of time looking at his life and Katagiri's life and Kobun's and Yoshimura's and many, many students and people who passed through. And I'll say one thing that most of us have in common, the teachers and the students, is a sense of failure. Like, we could have done more, we could have done better. There's always a certain amount of regret. Oh, if I'd only blah, blah, if I'd only done this or that. And Suzuki did say one reason to practice Zen is so that you don't have, too much regret as you get older. So we're going to have a certain amount of regret. We want to keep it in balance, though, right? We don't want to have crushing regret, just normal sort of So if you have those sorts of feelings, don't worry about it. It's normal. That's being human. Well, that's being, I wouldn't say that's being human. It depends on what sort of culture, what sort of subculture you're in, what sort of life you're experiencing. But if you're involved with some sort of spiritual practice, there's always an element of dissatisfaction. Now, dukkha, the first noble truth, which is usually translated as suffering, can also be called dissatisfaction or incompleteness. So, Buddhist teaching is that life in itself is unsatisfying or lacking in total satisfaction. There's an element of satisfaction and there's an element of dissatisfaction, but it's a tough trip. So people appreciated the ability to have an intimate, friendly, and inspiring relationship with Suzuki and with each other. And he, in turn, appreciated the same from them. His life had great meaning because of students. He said Buddha was great because his disciples were great. I took him to Los Altos, to the Haiku Zendo, and it was charming. It was great. But I liked it all. I liked the intimate stuff. I liked Tassajara. I liked it when I got bigger. And I liked it under Suzuki. I liked it under Baker. I liked it after Baker. Hey, I have to remember Loring Palmer died earlier this year, and it was so wonderful. I did a very long podcast with him, maybe more than one. And his summary of his life, and he died in his 80s. He was such a nice guy. He said, and he's quoting Buddha. Well, how do you feel about it, Loring? All of it, he said. Good in the beginning, good in the middle, good in the end. See, that's the other side of suffering. Every day's a good day. Depends on what level we are talking about. All the suffering and all the dissatisfaction is taking place within a greater reality. That it's identical to it, but that is wonderful. That is good. Good in the beginning, but good in the middle, good in the end. And so we set up our lives to awaken to that. And to Suzuki, it's to have a practice that is itself awakening. Okay. This has been a Cuke Audio mini podcast. I'm DC Pupa of Cuke Audio and Cuke Archives, coming to you from sleepy Sonora with Doghead Bandita, Feline Cuchita, and dear, lovely Katrinka. And we're wishing you and yours and all of us a grand awakening.